Good. Everything is great this side. We'll start in 2 minutes. I'm well, Saqib. Radhe Radhe. Same to you. All of you have a great day. You do a lot of chapters and do more than what you all had decided for the day. Whatever was your timetable, you achieve more than that. That's the only wish I have. Hare Krishna. Priya. Zeba, please check your side. Everything is good. My wealth mansi is not increasing one day. Health is okay if you're asking about that. Ashutosh Ram Ram. Jai Hind Raghav. 1 more minute and we'll begin. One more. Yes, Abhishek. Thank you, Yuvraj. See, again, I'm looking. Thank you, Saqib. See, all of you, please understand. If you miss out on something, please write a mail. I'll reply over there. See, for these classes, normally we get up at around 4:30, so that we are in the studios around, on time. So invariably, you have to get up early. That's the thing. Great, Abhishek. Okay, let me tell you one thing. We have already started this chapter and only did 2 slides yesterday. If you all remember, only these 2 slides were done by us. Okay. No, Mohammed. Let me change the color and let me. Okay. So we have only done one particular portion, the women issue yesterday. Now we are going to go beyond this. Okay. Only 2 slides we have done in this chapter, and I hope that was crystal clear. We are moving beyond that today. One thing all of you please understand. I have cleared every mail of yours, except the mails which came yesterday in the evening. After that, if there is any mail, I have not cleared that, which I cleared today in the daytime. Otherwise, each and every mail of yours I have replied. Not a single mail is left. If anyone has any issue, you can always write mail to me. I'll reply it over there. So I'm writing mail and starting the class now. Now, let's start. No, there are other issues also, Shahnawaz, but mostly these are the big issues that the women are facing in those days. There are other also which we will see now. Now, all the movements that yesterday I had given you idea, they can be grouped under 2 sins. Either they will be reformist or they will be revivalist. See, reformist comes from the word reform. Revivalist comes from the word revival. Reformist, they are saying that our religion is good. There's only some problem in the religion. So what do we need? We need to make certain changes, some reform. That is, modern era has come. And that's why let's go for scientific temper. The changes have to be done according to the reasoning. Reason has to be used, and some changes have to be done. Best example is Brahmo Samaj of Rajaram Mohan Roy, which we will start our chapter from. Whereas revivalists, they will say that we need to go back to the old era, old system, revival, revive. Revival also comes from the word revive. They are saying that the older system was correct, and we need to go back to a particular time. So here you will see, for example, the Deoband movement. Swami Dayanand Saraswati will give the idea of go back to Vedas, Arya Samaj. So you all can understand here. Both these reformists as well as revivalists, they are saying that the religion requires purity. They both are saying that some problems have come in religion. The only thing that they are differing is how to make that changes in the religion. So basically, one would say use tradition, another says use reasoning or conscience. So here, basically, this is the 2 types of movement. All the movements would be clubbed under these 2. Now please understand, why do we suddenly have these changes? After 2 slides I'll show. So those who have come late, I have just started with this slide and now I'm going to show you the 2 slides. See here, as I said, times have changed. And that's why they are saying that according to the modern era, we need to change ourselves. So your Brahmo Samaj, Pratna Samaj, Aligarh movement. See, don't worry about this. All these we will study later. Whereas they are saying revive the old system, like Arya Samaj, Deoband movement. So one is the revivalist movement, another is the reformist movement. Scientific temper means use of science, use of reasoning. Modern era is defined as what? Modern era is defined with the fact that the science, the use of this has come. So now, Muskan is asking, why did these movements start? Absolutely good question. We need to understand why did these movements begin. There must be some cause. There must be some reason that they have started. Absolutely. So please understand, I'll tell you this thing next. Because see here, I told you what is the difference between these 2. One is saying, see, they both are talking about that purity of the religion has to be brought. We need to reform the religion. But one relies on tradition, another relies on reason and conscience. So please understand. Yes, I will show you today, there is a movement. There is a revivalist movement by Radhakant Dev. He supported Sati. Dhan Samaj. So you will see that there are revivalist movements who are saying what exists, let them continue. So please understand, revivalist movement says go back to a particular era, revive something again, because they are saying, for example, Wahhabi movement. Wahhabi movement will say go back to the era of Prophet Muhammad. They will say that, see, this is a wrong thing. Muslim religion has become corrupt. They will say in Islam, a lot of issues have come. So they will demand, let us go back to that particular era. So now, yes, they are saying that the purity has gone out. Bhavna is absolutely correct. They are saying that religion has become impure, degenerated over time. Slowly and slowly, religion has become wrong. See, don't worry, Wahhabi and all we will study later. I'm only giving you example right now. So under these circumstances, the question that Muskan asked, Muskan's question was, why did these movements suddenly begin? There must be some reason, some factor that these movements began at this moment. Yes, education, absolutely, Bhavi and Ujjwal, they are correct. That this is reason of revivalist movement. They are saying education, absolutely, modern education has come. And modern education became one of the reasons for what? For the change in, or the reason for the changes. Of course, impact of the British rule. Yes, those who are saying good, Rajdev, impact of the British rule is a correct reason. Yes, Western education, Harsh is correct. English influence, British culture, Isha, absolutely. Because they could see that changes are coming, modern vision. Nobody has still mentioned revolutions in other countries like French Revolution. Yes, Renaissance, Tridev, absolutely correct. Yes, to certain extent, missionary works, technology, rationalism, absolutely correct. So if you see here, you all have already written. See, modern education, which is indirectly impact of British rule. This helped most of our social reformers. They are Western educated. They could see what was happening in Western world and what was wrong in India. Similarly, see, nobody can say Sati was correct. Sati was a problem. Sati was a social ill. Similarly, there were so many ills that we saw yesterday. For example, education not being provided. So people could see that these are the problems. And now our social reformers would try to improve on that. See, French Revolution, when did it happen? Yes, absolutely correct, 1789. In world history, you will study French Revolution. Let me give you an idea. See, French Revolution gave us the ideas of liberty, equality, now fraternity. Now just understand, yesterday we were talking about caste system. Now think about this. The idea of liberty, that everybody is equal, is free, in those days was a big thing. It was a huge thing. So you all can understand this is a big thing. Till yesterday, me and you were not equal because I was less than you, according to the stratification of the caste system. But after French Revolution, people are saying, no, everybody is equivalent. Similarly, pessimistic attitude towards the activities of these. What is pessimistic? Prerna. Pessimistic is, Indian reformers are not exactly convinced by their work. Why we are not convinced by their work? Because of the simple reason that they all the time try to convert the Indians into Christianity. Negativities. Pessimistic is negative attitude. Because a lot of time these British and Christian missionaries, their intention was only one. What was their intention? To convert the people. So a lot of our social reformers, they thought that, see, we will have to do these things in our own way. That's the thing. Nothing else. So I hope this is clear. And now look at a picture. Okay, where is this? See here. Look at this picture. Sati. See, yesterday only we talked about Sati. See this image. The husband is, dying, or is being, on the funeral is happening. And the lady is about to jump in that. No, it's not a real picture. It's a depiction of Sati. You can see people are, musical instruments are being played. You can see here. It's I would say in such a way that this is being celebrated. Why? Because for the society, this lady is a great and virtuous lady. Why is she great? She is great because she is trying to have a conjugal union with her husband. She wants to have an uninterrupted life with her husband, even after the death of the husband. She wants to continue being with her. Yes, these are the norms of the society in those days. Society expects you to do this. So you can see here, yesterday only we had talked about Sati, that Sati is one of the biggest problems. See, all of you please understand, Sati is the one problem that has totally ended in our country. Anyone have any knowledge? When was the last case of Sati happening? Any case? Name. Anyone? Can you give? Rajasthan. Yes, Jyotsna is the first person to give. See, last time there was a lady known as Roop Kumar. She wanted to commit Sati in Rajasthan. This is in late 1980s. This is the last incident of Sati. But then 99.999999, whatever line you put, Sati is now ended in our country. Getting my point? That's the thing. It's totally done, ended. Sati is not there. Now, all of you please focus. All of you please focus one point. See, yesterday only I have talked about the case in Kerala. I've already talked about, in the superstitions, I've talked about that case in Kerala. Now, please understand. Who is working against Sati? Raja Ram Mohan Roy. See, I will not write his full name. I will all the time write like this because, understand that. Raja Ram Mohan Roy. See, please understand, Sati is not practiced in the ancient days. It is not there. It is a distortion of relation which comes from the medieval times. It is basically from the medieval times that this has come. Getting my point? Now, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, please look at me. In his own family, he saw Sati being conducted. He saw his sister-in-law doing this. And he thought, this is a totally inhuman practice. And he started working against that. He saw his sister-in-law doing this. So, see, when I'm talking, please understand, when I'm talking about ancient, I'm saying, I know from, there are some examples from Gupta era of this. But then after that, mostly before that, it has not been there. So Raja Ram Mohan Roy was very good friends with William Bentinck, the Governor General of India in those days. And with Raja Ram Mohan Roy's active work, Sati was banned in those days. Now, all of you understand. Sati, in those days, why did the British ban it? Please understand, Raja Ram Mohan Roy is an Indian. He is banning it, or he is working against this, you all can understand. But what is the intention of the English? Why are they working on this? So please understand, charter debates were going on. Next Charter Act was coming in 1833. The Britishers had to justify to their own people that what good they have done in India. What are the good things they have done in India? Because we have already seen Charter Acts were there for 20 years. So 1833 Charter would have been till 1853. So for 20 more years, what creditable work they are doing? That is the reason Sati, the Britishers had ended it. So you can see here, what is Sati and what does it mean? Literally means pure and virtuous woman. A devoted wife who wants to remain with her husband even after the life. And that is why would burn herself and kill her with the dead body of the husband. Of course, main important man is this guy. As you can see here, charter debates were going on, and Britishers wanted that this next 20 years, the charter that they are going to get, they should have a good image, creditable image. That's why Bentinck, who was a Governor General, and the Court of Directors finally came up with this law in 1829. Those who were asking which year it was banned, for you the answer is 1829. See, yesterday or day before yesterday, already we have studied Charter Acts, the 4 Charter Acts. See, before the Charter Acts, there would be debates. What has to be done? What all changes should be done? That is known as Charter Acts. Now, Sati in Goa is already banned by the Portuguese. Now, please, all of you, for a second, listen to me very carefully. Please listen to me very, very carefully. Already, 2021 mains question came on him. So, you all can understand. Chances are that the question will not again get repeated very soon. But if at all, please understand, if at all, the question comes again. If the question comes again, all of you, listen to me carefully. It would be about, again, his contribution. See, next four slides, I'm going to tell you here. Listen to me carefully. Because I will only give this example for Raja Ram Mohan Roy, and you will have to bring it for everyone. That is, tomorrow, instead of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, maybe Swami Vivekananda may come. That write his contribution. Tomorrow, the contribution of somebody else can be asked. So whoever it is, we are not worried about that. I'm giving you the structure of the answer. So see here. In the contributions, you should give a good introduction. So for example, father of the Indian Renaissance. Renaissance literally means rebirth. So this is of European terminology. See, Renaissance basically is that in India, we had lost a lot of things. Our culture had got degenerated. Civilization had lost the track. Now, we are having a rebirth in every aspect, in culture, in politics, in economics, in arts. So basically, this is a rediscovery of India's glorious past. Always remember, this is a rediscovery of India's glorious past. It is reform in every aspect. Now, all of you see here, Raja Ram Mohan Roy. I'm giving you another start for his answer. Brightest star in the Indian sky. See, historians say he was the brightest star, the most important man in that era. See, all of you, see, I'm giving you an introduction. See, if you get any man, you will have to give some introduction. That introduction has to be very, very prominent introduction. See, you should give such an introduction that it makes the examiner read your whole answer. Similarly, I can give you another introduction. According to Ramchandra Guha, first modern man of modern India. In the modern days, he was the first modern man. Ramchandra Guha has written a very good book. I've read that book. It is Makers of Modern India. This is the name of the book. In that book, Ramchandra Guha has started his book with this man. Ramchandra Guha is a very famous author, Rahul. In his book, he says he is the modern man of modern India. So all of you understand, everyone, those who are in the class, when I begin my answer with a quote like this, I am telling the examiner that, see, my answer is going to be different from others. See, body, everybody would have same things. Getting my point? Body would have the same things only. It is other places where there will be changes. So you are done with the body. Oh, sorry, intro. Now what all he did? See, his contributions are in the field of education. So, in the field of education, what did he contribute? He started Vedanta College. He started Hindu College. Now, Vedanta, Hindu, why these colleges are being started? Here, Western education will be provided. Similarly, contributions to press. He wrote or he brought a newspaper called Sambad Kaumudi. Similarly, Miratul Akbar wrote a book known as Gift to Monotheists. So, you can see, these all are his, newspapers or magazines. I'll tell you, monotheist, understand? See, the spelling might be wrong about Sambad Kaumudi. Just look into this. Mono means, please understand, mono means one, and theist means belief in God. So basically, monotheist, gift in monotheist means he supported the worship of one God. This is his contribution to religion. He is saying one should worship only one God. He is against idol worship. He's a supporter of monotheism and against the study of idol worship or worship of idol. And for this, he translated books like Upanishads, the Vedas. All these books were translated into Bengali. And this was done to prove this. So you can see, look at this. All of you, see, some of you did not understand. Idol worship, Hindus, they worship the Murti. Murti is the Hindi. So he is opposing the idol worship. Look, he wrote Gift to Monotheists. Monotheists. Mono means one. So clearly, he believes in one God. Look, his colleges, Vedanta College, Hindu College, all these are where? In Calcutta. And where he is teaching what? Western studies. Now, translated into Bengali these books in order to show, please understand, that the ancient Hindus, they also talked about this only. Now, a lot of you, one thing, see, please understand, don't bring what you have seen in movies and don't bring that in this movie you saw this or that. Movies are not the actual description of the history. Getting my point? So don't bring that I saw this in this movie, because, if you are going to learn history from the movies, it is going to be very troublesome. And I cannot justify what wrongs they have shown in the various movies here. I will teach you according to the standard textbooks, not by the scripts, which Hindi movies does not have. So please don't bring these movies, because I cannot justify all your questions. Yes, it is interesting. You enjoy that, but don't learn history from movies. See, I'll tell you one thing before I begin this chapter. Don't learn history from WhatsApp, from Facebook, from movies. This is a humble request. Because as teachers of history these days, justifying WhatsApp messages have become really troublesome. People send to me and say, "Sir, I read it somewhere." Did you read it in a book? No. Where did you read? Sir, I got a message. Please. Unfortunately, there is a lot of wrong thing. WhatsApp University, absolutely, some of you who are saying. So we would go for standard textbooks. That's the only place that we will go. So that's the thing that I'm saying. So now please come back. Okay. Now if you see here, now all of you, some of you are asking, Arpita has a good question. Why did he oppose idol worship? So understand, Arpita, idols, this worshipping of idols came in Hindu religion much later. In his view, this is not correct. It is his view. See, all of you, please understand. If you think that no, idol worship should be done, I'm not disputing that. This is view of Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Later you will see there will be many who would support idol worship. Getting my point? See, all of you understand, different reformers, different interpretation. His view is that these religious texts of ours, they have been wrongly interpreted. Okay, that's the thing. Yes, in ancient times in Hinduism, nature was worshipped. Agni, water, air, etc., etc. Now, please look at the last point. See, this is his. You can see we have already talked about Sati. He's also asking, women should be given idol worship. Women should be given inheritance. See, you all know, in those days, father's property goes only to the son. He's saying women also should get this. Getting my point? Lastly, look at this. He formed two sabhas. One is Atmiya Sabha, another is Brahmo Sabha or Brahmo Samaj. Please understand, his two societies, see, spelling is wrong. Brahmo Sabha later turned into Brahmo Samaj. Inheritance means property rights. So these two are the Samajas started by him. This is his contribution in the field of religion. Now, I have already said to you people, already told you, he believes he is believing in this. Because I told you he is what? A reformist. See, David here is a Scottish man. By profession, he was a watchmaker who had come here and along with the Raja Ram Mohan Roy was working for this school. Now see here, as a political activist, all of you please see here. As a political activist, he in those days is talking about judicial equality, reduction of export duties, no taxes on tax-free land, and fixation of maximum rents. Understand all these four things. Judicial equality. Indians should have same powers like the British. In those days, Indian judges could not listen to the cases regarding the British. So he's talking about judicial equality. Similarly, reduction of export duties. We have already spoken about this. We have seen. He's talking about yesterday. We have completed this chapter. What happens is, because of the huge duties imposed on our goods become costly. And you all know, company got these trading rights 1717, Farrukhshire. Later, maximum rents. You all saw yesterday. What did you see? Maximum rent. If you remember, for example, the zamindari system, he's saying, zamindars, they take a lot of money from whom? From the people. That is, he's opposing. And also opposing that there should not be any taxes on the tax-free lands. So Raja Ram Mohan Roy, his contribution is also as a political activist. Yes, there are Indian judges, Nitesh, in those days. For example, later we will see there is a name called Mahadev Govind Ranade. Later days I'm talking about, not at that point. So if you see here, his contribution, education, press. Of course, I told you third was field of religion. Fourth, his contribution in political activist. Now, some of you are asking, what is a tax-free land? Anyone? Any idea what is a tax-free land? Anyone? community land, public land, the land which was usually barren or non-cultivable land. These were tax-free lands. And now he was asking that these taxes which have been imposed on them, that taxes should be removed. Okay, that is the thing. Apart from that, see, he is an internationalist. I already told you, influenced by French Revolution. Now, one thing, all of you, please understand. He is influenced by the Western ideas. That's why he introduced Western education in his schools, colleges that he started in those days. We also. And now you can see his French Revolution. He is inspired by French Revolution. Getting my point? He's very much inspired by this revolution. Look, he's talking about brotherhood amongst nations. What is brotherhood? See, in Hindi, we have a term called Vasudev Kutumbakam. Kutumbakam. What is Vasudev Kutumbakam? That there should be fraternity amongst nations. Yes, in Sanskrit, this is the thing, Vasudev Kutumbakam. So that means the world is one family. So world is one, the whole globe is one family. So he wanted that there should be cooperation of thought and activity. Now some of you will say, that sir, is this so important? Let me tell you all people. In those days, there were very few Indians who would know what is happening in the outside world. So there would be very few nations. So in those days, somebody talking about Vasudev Kutumbakam is a huge thing. That's something which you have to understand was a big, big thing. That's why we are saying, as an internationalist, yes, Swami Vivekananda will use it later. But at this moment, we are talking about 1820s. Swami Vivekananda is still 50 years later. So you can see at this moment, this is a huge thing. Now, please look at the last point. I know some of you will be not entirely understanding this point. Please see, I told you, Vasudev Kutumbakam. It's English. Why it is there, not Vasu. Now, please understand. There are 3 points in the last point. First point is this. Second is this. And third is this. Please see here. First point, he supports revolutions in other parts of the world. So in Spanish America, in Naples, all these areas, he's supporting the revolutions. That is, the people who were working against the government, they are talking about this. Naples is a place. It's a place. Where is Naples located? Anyone? Where is Naples? In Europe, I know, but where in Europe? Italy, yes. You will study about Naples in the integration of Italy, world history. In the Italian integration, Naples will come. So please understand, in those days, there were revolutions going on in Naples and Spanish America. He supported them. Number 2, see here, yesterday only we studied absentee landlordism. So in Ireland, the English absentee landlords, they were oppressing the common people. So he criticized that. Please understand, you all have studied about absentee landlordism. I don't have to get into that. So absentee landlords were oppressing the Irish people. So that's why he was criticizing that. Lastly, please see here, threatened immigration from the empire if the reform bill is not passed. Now, all of you think here, all of you see. Some of you will say that, sir, how does him going out of India creates any issue? Let me tell you how. I told you, he is one of the most prominent man of that era. And he's saying, he's threatening the British government that, see, if you will not do this, I will leave your area. I will go outside your area. So invariably, he's saying at this point that I will leave. Where will I go? Maybe to French areas. See, if Raja Ram Mohan Roy leaves the, I would say, your area, that is the British area, invariably it would become what? It would be like an insult to the Britishers. So he's threatening. He's saying, I will go, I will leave your area if you don't do this, what I'm saying to you right now, what I'm demanding from you. So this is the thing that he is saying at this point. It is an insult. Please understand, if the most prominent man of the era says that I will leave your area, is this not an insult? Is this not something that, okay, even the best people, the best Indians don't want to be in your area? Now, before I get into this slide, please understand. As I told you, he started 2 bodies, Atmiya Sabha, later Brahmo Sabha. Atmiya Sabha around 1814, this around 1828. Atmiya Sabha was not that prominent, so Brahmo Sabha was later formed, and the idea was to promote monotheism and promote formless worship, that is, idol worship was opposed. Similarly, monotheism, I've already explained. They had their belief in Vedas as well as Upanishads and made it very clear that the most important factor in deciding anything has to be the human reason. Yes, Nirgun and Sagun. So he said we should go for Nirgun Upasana. Please understand, Nirgun Upasana means formless worship. There are 2 words, Sagun and Nirgun. Sagun is you go for form, Murti, something is in front of you. Nirgun is you don't go for any idol. There is no idol over there. Yes, Ekeshwarvad. So if you see here, main theme of this Brahmo Samaj is Nirgun Upasana. Around 1828, this society has come. As you can see, they are talking about formless worship. I've already told you, they are promoting monotheism. First slide only I explained that they are saying one God and oneness of God. Apart from that, the intention is to purify Hinduism. I said at the very beginning, it is a reformist movement. So they are only for the reform. They only want to reform at this point of time. And this Samaj, look at the first word of this chapter, reasoning. They are calling for reason at this point of time. That there should be reason. Everything should be backed scientifically. There is no other thing. Scientifically, we need to back everything. And of course, Vedas and Upanishads they would rely on. So you all can see they are based on reasoning. See, ultimate criteria of anything being correct or incorrect is reason. See, something which might have been useful in the past has become useless today. How do you decide? Reason. So what old practices you will follow, what principles you will follow, it depends on reasoning. Today, whether you should do it or not. So this is the thing that he is saying. Now, all of you, those who came late, see here, I had written one statement. See this, brightest star in the Indian sky. It is written, brightest star in the Indian sky around whom all others revolved. Remember, next point that I'm going to show, basically, please understand, basically every important man of that era was his supporter. That's why I said he is the brightest star in the Indian sky around whom all others were revolving. Everybody is revolving around this. Getting my point? He is the brightest star. So if you all see the next point, you will see some of the most prominent names of that era. Let me show you that and then I'll come back. See, Keshav Chandra Sen, Devendranath Tagore, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Ashwini Kumar Datta, Derosians, Prasanna Kumar Tagore, Chandrasekhar Dev, Tara Chandra Chakravarti, the first secretary of Brahmo Sabha. All of you can see every prominent man of that era is his supporter. He is the, absolutely, Raghav is correct, son of the galaxy at this point. This galaxy which is there, he is the sun. He is the sun. Now, the problem is, this Samaj got a big setback because Raja Ram Mohan Roy died. And after him, who will lead this Samaj? Devendranath Tagore, father of Rabindranath Tagore. So now, the founder or the father is going to be Devendranath Tagore, who already has his own Tattva Bodhini Sabha and a Patrika also named same as Tattva Bodhini Patrika. Please see the next points. After Raja Ram Mohan Roy's death, who is leading this Sabha? Devendranath Tagore. Please understand, a lot of you get confused. Please see here. A lot of you, please see. Dwarkanath Tagore. His son is Devendranath Tagore. Yesterday also I had explained this. And he had many sons. One of them was Rabindranath Tagore and of course Satyendranath Tagore. So Raja Ram Mohan Roy's death, this man is now heading Brahmo Sabha, who repudiated means rejected the doctrine that Vedas are correct. See, please understand. Infallible, those who are saying what is infallible, Musharraf, infallible means everything being correct. That means those who say infallible, see, Vedas are infallible. This will be spoken by Arya Samaj. We will study them later. Remember, it is Arya Samaj who said that Vedas are infallible. So, remember at this moment that Devendranath Tagore is saying that Vedas can also fail. There can be something which is wrong there. So you can see his Sabha, his Patrika, and please remember this line. Already in prelims it has come. Already in prelims it has come that he was trying to study the India's past, systematic study of India's past in Bengali language. He was trying to do this in those days. Now, all of you, see, I'm making a chart. You can follow this chart. Okay, one more thing. A lot of you ask me how to make notes. Please look the way I made this. This is the basic idea of the notes. For example, Brahmo Samaj later got divided and became Adi Brahmo Samaj, led by Devendranath Tagore, and All India Brahmo Samaj, led by Keshav Chandra Sen and Anand Mohan Bose. Later, another division. And some people went out of this and formed Sadharan Brahmo Samaj, led by Anand Mohan Bose. Now, all of you see here. First of all, please see this point. Samaj supports widow remarriage, abolition of polygamy, women education, opposes all this. Now, apart from that, Brahmo Samaj later got bifurcated. Please, all of you see here. Brahmo Samaj later got divided 2 times. First time, it got named Adi Brahmo Samaj. Adi means old. Who is leading this? Devendranath Tagore. And the other side became All India Brahmo Samaj. Who is leading that? Keshav Chandra Sen and Anand Mohan Bose. What is the split? Reason for split. Keshav Chandra Sen wanted to bring new ideas and there were differences on this between him and Devendranath Tagore. So please understand, the first split is because Keshav Chandra Sen wanted to bring certain new ideas and there were differences, yes, regarding intercaste marriages, etc. Why did the second split happen? Because Keshav Chandra Sen got his daughter married to Cooch Behar Prince. Problem is daughter was a child. So Keshav Chandra Sen, all his life, opposed child marriage. And at this moment got his own daughter married at a very young age. So that's why many of his supporters were angry and they went out and formed Sadharan Brahmo Samaj. So I hope, yes, this was hypocrisy. And he did not give any explanation. He did not give any explanation that, why is he doing this? So you all can understand the two splits. First split, because there were differences between Devendranath Tagore and Keshav Chandra Sen. About, Keshav Chandra Sen was very cosmopolitan. Vishal, there is no love marriage here. He had arranged the marriage. This was hypocrisy. So all of you can see what I told you in the previous slide is these 3 points. Everybody, you can see this word? Clear? The divisions? Look at this point. Already, prelims question has been asked on this. Samaj said that no need of priestly class to interpret religious writings. Absolutely no requirement of this. Okay. Other Samaj will be the same now. Other Samaj is the same. All India Brahmo Samaj exist here. They continue. One have gone outside. So the two divisions, I hope, are clear. See, it has taken more than an hour and we have only completed Raja Ram Mohan Roy. I hope everybody is clear. See, I cannot go more slow than this. 1 hour and only one man is done. But yes, of course, the most important man is done. The biggest man is done. Crystal clear. And I'm now moving to the next man. See, the next person. See, how did he die and all? Why is that important? Will anybody ask you that how did he die? Not needed. So why are you going into this? So the next name is Henry Vivian Derozio. See, a lot of you have asked this. His father was of Portuguese origin. Get my point? His father was of Portuguese origin, so he was basically an Indian, Anglo-Indian. Now, inspired by French Revolution, which I said everybody. According to Bipin Chandra, first nationalistic poet of that era. He is a teacher in Hindu college. He's a teacher. And this man, his movement is known as Young Bengal movement. Why Young Bengal? Young Bengal because his supporters were mostly youngsters. And in Bengal, so if you see Henry Vivian Derozio, his life is only from 1809 to 31. He dies at the age of 22. He's a teacher from 1826 to 1831. And mostly college people were his supporters. His ideas were very radical, talked about liberty, talked about freedom. The problem was, because of his early death, the movement came to an end. Now, all of you, please see here. Lakshmi, I cannot, either I don't write. HVD is very clear. If the next slide is Henry Vivian Derozio, you people also have to contribute here. If I write everything, I'm already going very, very slow. Please listen to me also. If the next slide is Henry Vivian Derozio, you can understand what will be the full form of HVD. So please understand, all of you, see, if you are making notes, make it like this. Every important thing is here. Look at this. Every important thing of the next slide I have put here. Please see. In tomorrow, if a lot of you are asking me, sir, how do I make notes? At least yesterday I got 20 mails where the only thing was, sir, how do I make notes? Please see this. I've written Henry Vivian Derozio, his life, inspired by French Revolution, first nationalist poet, Hindu college. He's a teacher. From what period? His movement's name. He's very radical, talks about liberty, freedom. Because early death, that's why movement came to an end. So you can see here. Is it clear? Everyone, is it clear? Thank you. So see here. You can see, teacher in this college, movement's name. Why this? Because youngsters are his supporters and Bengal is the area where this movement is going on. Inspired by French Revolution, from where the ideas of liberty, freedom had come. And radical thoughts. Now all of you please remember, 2021 mains question came on this man. 2021 mains question. Radical, too much extreme ideas. Now according to Bipin Chandra, perhaps, please see, perhaps the first nationalist poet of modern India. See, it is written in your Bipin Chandra. He used to write poems in those days for the nation. Sitting on the banks of Ganga, he would write these poems. As you saw, because he died early, movement came to an end. And this is written in your Bipin Chandra. I have taken this line from there. Please see, this is written in Bipin Chandra. I have taken this line from there. All of you, please see. Surendranath Banerjee, see, his name will come later. He's a very important moderate leader. When he's talking about Derosians, now remember, Derosians are supporters of Derozio. So when he talks about supporters, he says that whenever the future generations will talk about Derosians, they will only talk good things about these, because their failings will be treated with gentlest consideration. You will not criticize these failures of theirs. See, basically, Surendranath Banerjee, Anuj, is saying right now that in future, whenever we talk about Derosians, we will only give them respect because they are one of the initial founders of our race. They have talked about things which are very, very important. Future generation will only talk good things about them. Their failures, if at all, will be treated mildly. Ishwar Chandra Vidya Sagar. This is his title, means ocean of knowledge. Ishwar Chandra Vidya Sagar, because Vidya Sagar, Vidya means ocean, Sagar means ocean, Vidya means knowledge. So, if you see here, always remember, whenever the question is on women, this man is most prominent. Why is this man most prominent? Because he worked maximum for the emancipation or empowerment of women. There is no one who has worked as much as he did for the emancipation of women. Nobody has done as much as he did. Remember, work for the education of girls, set up institutions, sometimes from his own money. He would spend his own money and would spend money for their schools, was associated with Bethany School, and he opposed polygamy. He supported widow remarriage. Because of this, Widow Remarriage Act was passed in 1856. Similarly, for polygamy, he wrote a book called Bahu Vivah. He wrote a book. Similarly, on widow remarriage, he wrote a book called Vidova Vivah. Please remember, I'm giving you, see here, I'm giving you a practice question. See, question is, discuss the contributions of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar in making of a modern India. Please see here, 150 words, a 10 marker. 2021 prelims question came on him, and that came directly from this line. 2021 prelims question directly came from this statement. It was directly from the slide. So all of you please see, nobody has worked more for women. Started schools, colleges for their education, sometimes from his own money, running almost 35 schools as inspector, government inspector of schools in those days. He is also associated with Bethany School. And you can see, higher education, he has done so much. For polygamy, I told you, his book is Bahu Vivah. See, Bahu in Hindi is many as well as daughter-in-law. But this is Bahu Vivah. And for widow remarriage, Vidova Vivah. So, Widow Remarriage Act was passed. So, remember, apart from this, because you can see his name is Vidya plus Sagar, ocean of knowledge. He was a very well-known name in Sanskrit literature. He was also opening the gates of Sanskrit college for the non-Brahmin students in those days. So, he was opening the gates of Sanskrit college for the non-Brahmin students in those days. He was the principal of Sanskrit college later. As you can see, against child marriage. See, one thing I'll tell, a lot of you are again asking meaning of polygamy, child marriage. Yesterday only we did everything. Please remember, yesterday only we did all these things. So, like everyone, here he is introducing Western thought. And this college is named after him now. Apart from that, Bengali primer and a new prose style. What do you understand by Bengali primer? Anyone? Yes, Deepak. Yes, they are written by him. Anyone who understands what is Bengali primer? Yes, alphabet. See, in those days, Bengali, a lot of alphabets were copied or taken from Sanskrit. So he developed the original alphabets. Elementary, yes, the book name was Barna Parichay, which is still used. Those who are from Bengal would know this great man contributed a lot to the Bengali language also at this point. And of course, the prose style. I'll tell you, last year, that is 2021, prelims question came on him. And we had predicted that there will be a question on him. Why? I'll tell you. Because when the Bengal elections were happening, there was some fight between TMC and BJP. And in that fight, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar's bust, that is his Murti, idol, was broken. That is why, he was very much in news. Yes, he is known as father of Bengali prose. So with this, prose style is a way of writing. Poetic style, prose style, these are the things that we say. See, we are done with Bengal for the time being. Let us move to Maharashtra. Who all are from Maharashtra here? Anyone from Maharashtra? Great. So, we are taking the name of Mahatma Jyotiba Phule. See, please listen to me. Great man. How does this name Phule come? It comes from the word fool. Fool in Hindi is flower. Get my point? Fool is flower. Because his family was in horticulture business. His family was in horticulture business and belonged to the Mali caste. Getting my point? Now, if you see here, all of you, this great man is seen as the starting point of the Dalit movement in our country. So, please understand. Floriculture, I said horticulture, I wrote, I'm sorry, I'll take it floriculture. I'm sorry, I'm sorry here. His family was in the business of flowers. So, floriculture, you can say. They were gardeners. Okay. See, I'll tell you, I'll make this chapter as interesting as possible. Please understand, these things you will not get into books. You will not get into, books. So, I will tell you these things because, when we talk about them, you have to give this. Plus, of course, one more thing, understand. See, all of you don't get affected. See, break will be at 7:40. Have patience. See, all of you, please understand that there were certain problems in our society. You all have to understand. And from here, basically, Phule, he is going to mainly work against the Brahminical domination of the society. He's going to work against this. Let me tell you what happened in his life. See, everybody's life has a turning point. See, Everybody's life. You all are sitting. You took a great decision to prepare for UPSC. That's the turning point of your life. Tomorrow when you are an officer, you will recall the day when you decided. You can recall that, talk with someone who influenced you, who motivated you, that go and prepare for this exam. Similarly, Phule, he was attending the marriage of a close friend. The friend was of higher caste. So the parents of the friend, they basically demolished him. They said that you belong to a so-called lower caste. How dare you, join the marriage of this, an upper caste member. So from there he understood that there are issues and he started opposing this Brahminical domination. So he formed his Satyashodhak Samaj for this in 1873. But always remember, whenever we talk about Jyotiba Phule, the name is incomplete without his wife. Those who are from Maharashtra would know this great lady's name, Savitribai Phule, the first female teacher. And Mahatma Jyotiba Phule had taught her. He taught her. Yes, Pune University is named after her, Savitribai Phule. So she is the female teacher who will do a lot of work at this point of time. They are mainly working for whom? The Shudras, to improve their conditions. To improve their conditions. This is being done. The untouchables, to bring them to end their operation, they are working. So see, those who don't have this idea, our Samaj, the Hindu society, somewhere got divided into Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So that's your called Varna system. You will study this in your ancient. So the problem was the Shudras, who were at the lowest level according to the system, they were having a lot of oppressive condition. So both Mahatma Jyotiba Phule and Savitribai Phule, they started working and they wanted to improve their conditions. Remember his two books, Gulamgiri, Sarvajanik, Satyadharma. These two are his two major books which you have to remember. So this is something that you have to remember. Now, you all can understand, Jyotiba Phule and all, they required a lot of money to run these schools, and for that, they got the help from people like Jagannath, Shankar, Seth, Bhau, Daji. These people helped them in running this. So if you see here, started the Dalit movement. See, I'll tell you one thing. Whenever we talk about the caste movements, yesterday only I told you, his name will be the first. Later you can bring Baba Sahib Bhimrao Ambedkar, Narayan Guru, Periyar, Justice Movement, Vokaliga Sangha, all that. But first will be this name. First will be this name. He is opposing what? The upper class Brahminical domination. So his religions that he started, or Samaj that he began, was Satyashodhak Samaj in 1873. And as I told you, main aim is to improve the conditions of these people because they are being exploited, they are being oppressed. As you all can see, Raja Bali was seen as a symbol rather than Bhagwan Ram. So basically what they are saying is, we will not be worshipping God Ram because they said Rama is the Brahmin symbol. Rather, we will be worshipping Raja Bali. See, don't go into this. Just remember this. This is a mythological story from where Raja Bali comes. We are not worried about that. So you can easily ignore this. Brahmin symbol, Ram is a Kshatriya or not Anurag. Please remember, Ram, they are saying, is a symbol of Brahminical supremacy. Now, all of you, look at the next point. See, I'm talking about this. As I told you, many schools were started by them in Pune and all these areas. And who gave the money for these? These people. Now, look at these 2 points. See, all of you, please understand. See, I told you, all of you, don't go into the Raja Bali story. Yes, that is Bhagwan Vishnu's Brahman avatar and all that. That is the, thing. No, don't go. See, it is not the Bali of Ramayan. It is not Ram and Ravan Bali. It is not that person. It is another. There is a story of Bhagwan Vishnu's Vaman avatar and there all that comes from. Okay. All of you, please focus for 5 minutes. Pronounce as B-L-I, Bli. I'm not sure about that, Anand. All of you, please. Yes, Asur Bali. Please listen to me for the next 2 points. See, because he opposes what? These things. And he supports what? These things. See here. Please see. He is opposing them. He is supporting them. What are the things that he is opposing? Look at this. He says, he condemns the inequality in the religious books. See, for example, there is a book called Manusmriti, which does the stratification of the society. See, all of you listen to me for 5 minutes. Don't go for the questions. Listen to me. See, Mahatma Jyotiba Phule says, on one hand you say, me and you, we both are sons of the same God, and yet you are doing inequality in the religious books. He criticizes the orthodox nature of religion because through that, exploitation of the masses happen. Remember, for example, I'll tell you. See, for example, I'm a Hindu. And let's say, in a Hindu family, when somebody dies, there is this 13-day elaborate ceremonies that happen. In those 13 days, a lot of times people will say that, okay, you need to give this, you need to donate this, you need to give this to the Brahmins, please do a feast. What happens is, maybe the rich man can do that. But what about the poor? What about these masses? Will they be able to do that? Will they be able to do that? No. A lot of times, what happens? They have to take loans. And remember, most of the times, the Indians, they would get under the loans mainly for the reason that some birth or some death has happened. So a lot of times, in the religion, the things that are written, that is, through that exploitation of masses happens. Similarly, blind and misleading rituals. There are lots of rituals that are done. A lot of times, I will be told by my mother, no, you have to do this. Now, why do I have to do this if you ask? Your mother will say, see, we also did, you also have to do. Maybe many times we don't know that. So he's opposing that also. And he says there is hypocrisy in the prevalent religion. See, what is the biggest hypocrisy? All of you think. I am a so-called lower caste man. See, I will always, remember, in this whole chapter, whenever I will use the term lower caste, I will use the word so-called. Why? Because I do not believe that there is any lower or upper caste. This is all a fragmentation, a figment of imagination. This is hypocrisy. There is no lower and higher. I know there is. But it is our need, our thing, that we have to break these things. These ideas, these mindsets have to be broken. So always I will keep on using the so-called lower caste. What is hypocrisy in the prevalent religion? See, on one hand, I belonging to a so-called Shudra caste, I build the temple, I make the idol of the god, and later I am not allowed to enter the temple. What more can be the hypocrisy? This is the biggest hypocrisy that you see in the prevalent religion. So basically, Jyotiba Phule is opposing all these things. Jyotiba Phule is opposing these things. And rather, he says that what would be better? Instead of all these, think about human well-being. Everywhere, think about what would be the best for every human. Think about human happiness, human unity, human equality, and of course, easy principles and rituals in religion. See, the title of Mahatma to Jyotiba Phule was given by Vitthal Rao Krishnji Bandekar. He gave the title of Mahatma to Jyotiba Phule. I hope every one of you are clear with till here, till this point. See, I hope everybody is crystal clear. And now I am taking a new slide, changing your pen, and coming to a very, very important name. See, after I complete Dayanand Saraswati, I will give you a break. I will give you a break after completing Dayanand Saraswati. Please understand. Now, Dayanand Saraswati, remember, is born in a small village in present-day Gujarat. His family members wanted him to get married. That's why Dayanand Saraswati left his house and started, wandering at places. He is searching for truth. And at this moment, in Mathura, he met a blind teacher whose name is Vrijanand. No, birth, time, these are usually not important. And Dayanand Saraswati, this is a revivalist movement. This is a revivalist. Okay. So he met, in Mathura, he met, I would say, a blind teacher. And his name is Swami Vrijanand. From him, he got inspired and later formed Arya Samaj. So Arya Samaj, at this moment, was started by him. He only gave the slogan, go back to Vedas. Now, please understand, this movement is, of course, revivalist. There is no doubt this movement is revivalist. But by go back to Vedas, Dayanand Saraswati is not saying that we need to go back to the era of Vedas. But rather, Dayanand Saraswati is saying we need to, get the real ideas of Vedas into our life. We will need to incorporate that. We need to incorporate that thing. Getting my point? So, this man, he believes in infallibility of Vedas. Infallibility means that everything written in the Vedas is absolutely correct. Absolutely. Anything mentioned in Vedas is correct. So remember, this Samaj, which was started in 1875 by him, in those days basically is approving Vedas. They are saying anything written in Vedas is correct, but then they disapprove anything written in Puranas or anything else. They are opposing Puranas. He rejects Western culture. He rejects this. But then he supports Western science. He says this is okay. See, don't worry about Ved, don't worry about Puranas. These are the ancient Hindu textbooks. You will be taught these in your art and culture. These are the ancient Hindu textbooks or literature. Now, I hope a lot of you would be knowing about Arya Samaj, specifically North India. A lot of you would be knowing about Arya Samaj, isn't it? A lot of you. I'll tell you, unfortunately, when this COVID came last year and before that, unfortunately, we all saw in different families, in close families, in friends, a lot of people, they died. And in Hindus, a lot of their last ceremonies, they were done in those days through the Arya methods, Arya Samaj methods, where they don't do a lot of rituals. There is less focus on rituals at this place. So remember, Arya Samaj was started in Bombay. And later, headquarters was shifted to Lahore. And after independence, it is now in North India. Now, please understand. If you see here, this man for the first time spoke about Swaraj. And he's way ahead of his time. He's way ahead of his time. Please understand, see these points. He's saying equal rights for men and women. Similarly, against idol worship, against ritual, against the dominance of Brahmins, against the dominance of priesthood, against politism, widow celibacy. So he's against all these things. Now, how many of you are products of DAV schools and colleges? Anyone here in this class, product of DAV school and college? Kibriya, Tridev, Ashish, Raman, Sanjay, Aparna, Anurag. What is the full form of your school? Dayanand Anglo Vedic, DAV. You can all see those who are not from this background. See, it is named after Dayanand Of course, Anglo means Western education will be given, and they believe in Vedas. Remember, this was started by the supporters of Swamiji, like Lala Hansraj. So let me show you the first two slides, and remember, his book's name is Satyat Prakash. This is the name of his book. So see here. Okay, I jumped. There is some problem in this slide. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I wrote slightly one place earlier. See, I'll come to this slide. 1 second, I'll come to this again. See here. From whom did he learn? Swami Vijayanand in Mathura, a blind teacher, Vedanta. What is Vedanta? Vedanta is basically, see, those who are accusing me to be fast, I cannot then justify Ashish. If in this 2 hours you are not able to do 5, very tough for you then. See, I cannot go much slower than this. Please understand. What do you understand by Vedanta? Anyone? Yes, Vedanta literally means Ved plus Ant. That means one that comes at the end of the Vedas. Yes, it is basically, philosophy of the Vedas, the Vedic learning. One of the philosophy schools is this. Again, you will study in your ancient history. So, he started Arya Samaj in 1875. All of you remember this year. Why you need to remember the year? Already, prelims question has come from this. This year. Please remember this. Where was it started? Bombay. Where was it shifted? Lahore. Initially in Bombay, later in Lahore. What is the slogan? Does not mean that you go back to that period, but definitely adopt the best practices of that period. As you can see, infallibility of Vedas, that is anything and everything written in Vedas is correct. Of course, approves Vedas, rejects Puranas, and rejects anything related to Western culture. So he's against the Western culture, but then exception, please exception, he approves Western sciences. Please remember, he is not against Western science. Okay, now please see, this particular word, Swaraj, for the first time was spoken or uttered by whom? Swami Dayanand. Getting my point? He is using this word, and look how ahead of his time he is. He's talking about equal rights for both men and women. He is saying against idol worship, against ritual, against dominance of Brahmin, against the priesthood. See, in what context did he use the word Swaraj? Anurag is not clear. But according to Rajiv Rahil Spectrum, he was the first person in the modern times to use the word Swaraj. Look, against caste system. See, Swaraj in modern times, please understand, that is the thing. He's against the caste system. Similarly, his efforts and the name of his book. Against politism, yesterday we studied multi-marriages. Against widow celibacy, we saw what is the condition of widows. Against child marriage. And if you are not understanding, in those days, Hindus didn't want to go for foreign travel. See, no, please understand. In Hindus, there was a feeling that if you go for foreign travel, you lose your religion. We will study this point in 1857 revolt. That's why he was against, yes. In those days, Hindus had a feeling that if you cross the ocean or sea, you lose your religion. We will see this as a cause of 1857 revolt. Lastly, look at this. He lamented, he said that Hindus, they are children of children. That means 15-year-old boy, 14-year girl, and she has become a mother. Now you all think the mother herself is a child at this moment, and she has become mother. So lamented means basically he said, unfortunately, it's a sad aspect that in Hindu race, they are basically children of the children. So he's accusing the Hindus. See, this is basically showing that he was against child marriage. He was against child marriage, and that's why he is, opposing. He's showing sorrow for this situation. That, this is a very bad situation that in Hindus, people get married so young. See, of course, please, all of you understand. Muhammad Shahnawaz has a point that in Muslims also marriages are happening. But then I'm telling you that he is a Hindu reformer, so he is only concerned about Hindu race. Child marriages are happening in other races also. But he's talking about his own people. And that's why he came up with a point, minimum age for marriage, 25 and 16 for girls. Now you will say through this, there will be a huge difference. But then Brahmacharya, you all know in those days, there were 4 ashrams for the Hindus. Brahmacharya was the first. The second one was Grihastha Jivan. Third, Vanaprastha. And the fourth is Sannyas. So he said that the marriageable age should be 25. Now, as I already told you, his supporters later started DAV schools and colleges. But then he made, differences here. Why? He made differences because some people wanted to go for traditional education, some wanted to go for Western education. Those who wanted that Western education should be given, they went ahead and formed the DAV schools and colleges. Those who wanted traditional education to be given, they started the Gurukul system. So you can see the next point. After his death, his supporters, you can see Lala Lajpat Rai is one of the big supporters. They started a chain of schools and colleges known as DAV, in which the most important role was played by Lala Hansraj. And Swami Shraddhanand, on the other hand, started a Gurukul near Haridwar, where the traditional ideas were given. Now, 2 problems here. Sri Megh is saying that 16 girl is a girl child. Remember, in those days, girls were getting married at the age of 10. This was the legal age for marriage. Girls would get married at the age of 4, 5, 6. Now, you only tell me, if somebody is getting married at the age of 4, 5, 6, do you think for them 16 is not a big jump? It is. And Jinal, please understand, by putting different age does not mean that he is doing segregation or he is doing inequality. Right now also, in India, 21 is the age for boys, 18 is girls. Does that mean that the government does any inequality between boys and girls? No. That only means that this is done because of certain biological things also. So, No, 21 is only proposed, I think. It has not been made a law. Please look, has it been made a law? Yesterday also many people said. So please understand, 25 and 16 is not something. So it's not a law. All of you please understand, this has not become a law. So don't confuse me. So please understand, at that moment when girls are getting married at 4, 5, 6 and 10 is the legal age. So if he is getting married at 16 or if he's increasing it to 16, you can understand how big number this he's asking. He's way ahead of his time. Last thing. See, this movement at times became anti-Muslim and anti-Christian. There were two reasons. Why did it become anti-Muslim and anti-Christian? One was that in those days, Hindus who had converted to other religions, Arya Samaj was trying to reconvert them back. And this was known as Shuddhi program. This is known as Shuddhi movement. So this movement which was started made it at times anti-Muslim and anti-Christian. Along with that, also remember the cow protection movements were done by him, and at times this became anti both these religions. Because of these two reasons, it became anti-Muslim and anti-Christian. Lastly, let me tell you, his book Satyat Prakash, which was written by him in those days, has done a lot of criticism of these two religions. For that matter, he has done criticism of almost every religion. And because of all this, at times this movement has become anti-Muslim and anti-Christian in those days. Remember, next two slides, I don't teach, this is for you. The 10 guiding principles of Arya Samaj, I have given it to you in the two slides. You can see. You should remember any 2, 3. If tomorrow there is any question on Arya Samaj, write any 2, 3 of this and I'll tell you which is very easy. Third. Because you all know, he said go back to the Vedas. That's why he's saying the Vedas are the books of true knowledge. So remember, 1. Number 2, this is very easy. Social well-being of mankind has to be put above individuals' life, individuals' well-being. Getting my point? This has to be done. And third, treat everyone with love and justice. So remember these 3 and that would be more than enough. No need to remember all 10 at this point of time. So with this, let's go for a break. It is 7:56. Go till the break for 18:08:06. 10 minutes break and we will start. Jat Paat Todak Mandal after this. 10 minutes break. It's in Jyotiba Phule. You can see his See, I had missed one point in the previous slides. In Jyotiba Phule, you can see his book's name, which I had mentioned. He also supported the video remarriage movement. And please remember these 2 extra points which are given in your book, in your Bipin Chandra, about that there was a Vishnu Shastri Pandit who had founded the Video Remarriage Association, and there was Tarsan Das Mulji whose book Satya Prakash was in Gujarati language on the video remarriage language. They're getting my point? So just remember these 2 points I had missed over there. The rest was done. I've written about the books and everything. So if you see here, let's go ahead. Just a second. Now, if you see here, this was the last slide. The next, let me take a new slide. I hope everybody would have come. No, there are many who were before the break and they are still enjoying their break. Not a problem. We'll start. They'll come in some time. See, Jat Paat Todak Mandal. See, it was started by your Bhai Parmanand. The main purpose of Jat Paat Todak Mandal was that they wanted to work amongst those Arya Samajists who had come back after Shuddhi. So basically, they wanted to assimilate those Arya Samajists. So if you all see here, we just now saw before the break that there were certain Arya Samajists who were brought back to the fold of Hinduism, and this was done by Shuddhi program. Before the break, Shuddhi in English means purification, which was done by the Arya Samaj. That's why in Lahore, this Jat Paat Todak Mandal was started in those days, and the idea was to first of all assimilate them. Just like the others, they also condemned the caste distinctions. They said this is not correct, and as I told you, started in Society for the Abolition of Caste. See, assimilate means to completely integrate. Because if you all see here, I was in, let's say, I converted to Christianity, came back to Hinduism again. So I should be integrated with the society completely. Yes, it is like an offshoot of the Arya Samaj. So you can see the English, where it is their founder and what is their main work. They are trying to work for the assimilation of the reconverted. Now for the next 20 minutes, only 2 men we are going to do, and both of them are linked to each other. Those who are from Bengal, Calcutta, how many of you have been to Ramakrishna Math? Yes, now we are going to Swami Vivekanand and to Ramakrishna Paramahans. Those who have not been to these places, whenever you get the time, go. It's a beautiful place, very serene. I've been to that place, and I can tell you, very, very serene place. Now, see, Ramakrishna Paramahans. Now all of you understand. My personal opinion is there will not be a question on Ramakrishna Paramhans, at least not in prelims. And don't think it means also. If there will be a question on Ramakrishna Paramhans, it will be more from ethical point of view. Now, please see here. He is a saint. Of course, a Hindu saint. What happened is, at a very young age, around 6-7 years he was, when his father died. And he started to assist his mother in house, in household works. He was assisting his mother. His elder brother was working because somebody has to work so that money comes. And he was helping his mother. So from very initial days, he saw in his mother a goddess. So here you can understand, this great man, from the very early days in Hinduism, the highest form of achievement that can be achieved, he had got that. He would go in trance. He would be like, yes, I can see God. I can talk to them. So he has not written any book. He has only communicated his, I would say, teachings through his words. He was more than 20 years of age. When one day he said that in a village, there is a girl, I'm going to get married to her. And she was hardly 2-3 years old. And he got married to her. Of course, never consummated the marriage. Because he worshipped his wife also as a goddess. And later, yes, Sharda Devi, I'm coming to her. This great lady, Sharda Devi, would be helping him in running this organization. So remember, Ramakrishna Paramhans lived a very poor life in Dakshineshwar, Kalibadi. Those who are from Calcutta would know these terms. In Dakshineshwar, there he is, he was having his small temple where he would be worshipping the goddess Kali. Now, he would believe in meditation, in bhakti. And at this moment, a rich lady, her name was Samrani Rashmani, she had helped him in establishing one temple over there. And he would, for some time go and live with the Muslim ascetics, for some time would go and live with the, Hindus, Christians, because his idea is different religions are different ways of reaching the same God. So if you see, he would live with the mystics of other faiths because he's trying to identify the religious truth. In order to attain the religious salvation, he goes for renunciation, meditation, devotion. Those who don't understand renunciation, leave everything. The worldly goods have to be left. Salvation, moksha, mystic, the sannyasis, meditation, I hope you all understand. I want you to mug up this line. This is a beautiful line. Service of man was service of God, for man was the embodiment of God. Please mug up this line. This is a very, very important line. You have to remember. See, again, don't bring movies here. Okay. So he's talking about this. He's talking about all these at this point of time. Now, you all know, this man became famous for what? Or because of what? His disciple, whose name is Narendranath Dutt. Also, Swami Vivekananda. Nar Seva, Narayan Seva. See, Nar Seva, that is if you are servicing men, you are servicing God. Narayan Seva, you are servicing the God. Why you are doing this? Because man is the embodiment, the best creature, the best thing. Getting my point? So that is the thing that he is talking about. Yes, by man he means both male or female, both male and female. That is it's a gender neutral. Manav Seva, Madhav Seva. See, in English, another thing you can write is Manav Seva equivalent to Madhav Seva. Madhav means God, Manav means human being. Now, Swami Vivekananda is his disciple. So see here. See, please understand. Your Swami Vivekananda was a very, very naughty child. His mother used to say, I had worshipped God, I had worshipped Shiva, that give me, a child. He gave me his ghost. He was such a naughty child. But then his father died and the conditions changed. And then Vivekananda had lots of queries, lots of doubts. Swami Vivekananda had lots of doubts in those days. He would have a lot of questions. And one day, his teacher in the school advised Swami Vivekananda that why don't you go and meet him? Swami Vivekananda went to Dakshineshwar, Kalibadi, saw Ramakrishna Paramhans. Ramakrishna Paramhans also saw him, but Swami Vivekananda was like, I don't think he can solve my queries. So Vivekananda came back. But there was some attraction in Ramakrishna Paramhans which kept on pulling Swami Vivekananda to him. And finally, one day, Swami Vivekananda asked Ramakrishna Paramhans. The question was, do you see God? And Paramhans said, yes, I see God. Or have you seen God? I'm not saying the exact words. Have you seen God, or do you see God, or have you seen God? And Paramhans' answer was, yes, I see God in you. Paramhans said, yes, I see God. And I see it in you. Because we just now saw service of man is service of God, because man is the embodiment of God, because man is the idea, the best idea of God. Now I understand, it might be that he would have asked, have you seen God? I'm not saying exact words. I'm only telling you the idea here. Have you seen God? And the answer is yes. And from there onwards, this man is a disciple of Swami Vivekananda. He is now a follower of that. Just like his guru, is a great humanist. His teachings were the teachings of Buddha, Christ, Gita. From these all sources, his teachings were in those days. Just like Guru, his Guru, he also believes that ultimately there is oneness of religion. Ultimately, all religions, they are one. And that is why, for all of you, I am giving you this quotation. Please mug up this quotation. This will help you in your questions of secularism or communalism. Use this. What does Swami Vivekananda say? Swami Vivekananda is saying that, see, for our motherland, what do we require? A junction of the two great systems. What are the two great systems? Hinduism and Islam. Remember, all of you, please understand. Swami Vivekananda is talking about the two great systems. He's not talking about anyone else. So if you see here, Vivekananda at this moment, the great disciple, Swami Vivekananda, see, please understand, Ramakrishna Paramahansa is the Guru. Swami Vivekananda is his disciple. Swami Vivekananda, see what beautiful line he says, that for our motherland, that is for India, for our country, when these two great systems, they work, they run together, then only there is any hope. Such a beautiful line. In present day, any question on secularism or communalism, use this. Yes, disciple is Shishya. He is the Shishya. He is the student. And he is the teacher. Guru, teacher. So, Narendra Dutt or Swami Vivekananda, you can see, is saying that for our country to progress, both these systems have to run parallelly, have to run together. Like everyone else, opposes caste system, opposes rituals, opposes ceremonies, superstitions, and asks the people to go for these thinkings: liberty, equality, free thinking. He's asking. See, already we have seen, these things. Vivekananda is criticizing the Hindu prevalent religion. The Hindu prevalent religion is being criticized by Vivekananda. He's criticizing this touch me not attitude that Hindus had adopted. Hindus were like, no, don't criticize us. So he's criticizing those things. Of course, subscribes to the idea of Vedanta. He subscribes to this idea of Vedanta, and in those days wants to bridge the gap between Paramarth and the spirituality. That is, your action and your behavior should match. Now, Vedanta, I told you, has been earlier also, comes at the end of Vedas, and it means it's one of the philosophy schools. You will study this. Vedanta, you will study. So you all can see already prelims question has come from this. This is his book's name. He later started Ramakrishna Mission. Those who are from Bihar, Bengal, Odisha, they would know Ramakrishna Mission. Anyone who is a student of Ramakrishna Mission. Anyone who is a student of Ramakrishna Mission here. Belur Math is there. Great Subir is there. Mohit is there. Ajay. Yes, Ramakrishna Mission. See, Paramath means service. Vyavahar means behavior. So he wants this gap should be completely filled at this point of time. So please understand. His mission is to bridge the gap between these two and these two. See, please all of you understand. Mission of Swami Vivekananda is to bridge the gap of what? To bridge the gap of Paramath and Vyavahar, and bridge the gap of spirituality and day-to-day life. Paramath is service, Vyavahar is your behavior, spirituality and day-to-day life. So there is a gap between these. His aim is to bridge that gap. And you all know this, I don't need to tell you. The fame of this great man is from this World Religious Conference in US, where famously he said, now all of you are making a mistake. Suguna, Suhasini, you all are writing brothers and sisters, but his speech was sisters and brothers of America. Remember, yes, Peter, make this remember, always remember, it's not bhaiyo or behno, it is behno or bhaiyo. My sisters and brothers of America. Please remember this line always. This man talked about sisters first, then the brothers. And let me tell you one more thing. He was by chance there. It's not that he was invited in this World Religious Conference. By chance he was there. And by the time he had completed his speech, everybody in America, in Chicago, in that religious conference was unanimous on one point, that the East does not need to know anything from the West. He was way ahead of his time. Way ahead of his time. Get my point? He had gone over there. He was touring the world. He gave this great speech, and by the end of the speech, this thing, he had basically shown the greatness of the Oriental culture, the greatness of the Indian culture. Ajay, he had gone there. He was there. He asked the organizers that give him a chance, and there he, gave the speech. Now somebody had mentioned Oriental culture means Eastern culture. Earlier also we have studied Devyani and Sayyid, etc. We have seen Eastern culture, culture of India, Japan, Korea. All that is called Oriental culture. Now, if you all see, anyone who is a member of Ramakrishna Mission here, anyone who is a member of Ramakrishna Mission here, Kinza, Karus, there are many people. Now, you people, of course, would know a lot about Ramakrishna Mission. But as you all know, Vivekananda started this Ramakrishna Mission for his own Guru, in the name of his Guru. His Guru is, of course, Ramakrishna Paramahansa. So in his name, Ramakrishna Mission started, which will mainly do what? Humanitarian work. So they will run school, hospital, when there is a flood relief. So their major thing is, they will be working for all these things. Just like his guru, he also advocated doctrine of service, where doctrine of all beings have to be serviced. They all have to be, serviced. He's ready to use technology, modern science. He's advocating, yes, please understand, this mission exists even today. And this mission says karma is above God. Action, do action. Yes, he believed in youth. In fact, that is the reason he is a youth icon, I would say. You all can in paper 4 ethics. Swami Vivekananda is one of the greatest characters of modern day India. Write about him as your favorite reformer. He is the person who is the idea of the modern nationalism. Some people attribute, Subhash Chandra Bose says that the amount of work that this great man has done has not been done by anyone else. So, you can see what is the work of Ramakrishna Mission. Humanitarian and social work as the doctrine of service being doctrine of all. Use of technology, modern science. Mission has number of schools, helps in floods, epidemics, famines, all these times. Yes, his birthday is celebrated as the Youth Day now. And, his one very famous quote I remember is, arise, awake, and don't stop till the goal is reached. Yes, January 12th. I'm not saying exact word until you reach. The exact words might be different. Exact words might be different, but I'm only saying arise, awake, and don't stop till the goal is reached. Maybe the words might be slightly different, but this was his idea. Remember, Ramakrishna Mission is a very, very popular body, specifically in the Eastern India. And one of the reasons why this is so popular is because it is not a proselytizing body. Please understand, they are not trying to convert people. That is why if you go to this, Hindus, Muslims, everyone, they become members of Ramakrishna Mission. This religion or this missions has gone beyond religions. Everybody, that's why some places it is also written that they don't consider themselves as sect of Hinduism. Sometimes, they don't consider, of course, there's a court case which was done, whether they are a part of Hinduism or not. But sometimes they don't consider themselves as a part of Hinduism. And that's why the people from all the religions, they join. They are a member of this. And this is one of the reasons that this is hugely successful. See, I'll tell you one thing. They don't take participation in any political activities. And they say Vedanta is a way of life, just like Hinduism is a way of life. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They say that Vedanta will make a Muslim a better Muslim, a Christian a better Christian, a Hindu a better Hindu. So, you can see here, it is not a proselytizing body which makes it so unique. Sometimes not even considered as a sect of Hinduism. And the philosophy of Vedanta makes everyone a better person. As you all can see, Arya Samaj, if you compare them, they don't worship the image worship. Proselytizing means they are not trying to convert people. They believe in the omnipotent God, and that's why they also support the worship of the God. Idol worship is supported by them. And last line, please remember this quotation by Swami Vivekananda. See, this is a very good quotation on hunger or on poverty. No, Arya Samaj does not support the idol worship. See, this is a very good quotation on hunger and poverty. You can see here, what is Swami Vivekananda saying? Omnipotent means one which is everywhere. God is everywhere, omnipotent. So please see, Swami Vivekananda is saying, so long as the millions live in hunger and ignorance, I hold every man a traitor who, having been educated at their expense, pays not the least heed to them. As long as there are people who are hungry, who are ignorant, yes, use this quotation in your essays. We people have been, given educated at their cost, and we are not taking least heed about them. Now, we are done with Swami Vivekananda. We are done with Ramakrishna Paramhans. Everyone, is this clear? Absolutely clear. All of you, crystal clear. Thank you. Thanks, Satan. Yes, use this quote. Please use this quotation. Now, see, next man. See, I will do the brainstorming of this chapter in the last. I will do the brainstorming. See, quotation is very clear that there are so many millions of people who are hungry, who are ignorant. And we people who have got the best of the education, best of the things, it might be not ours, it might have been theirs. But yet, we who have got everything do not care about them. In that case, Swami Vivekananda thinks that we are a traitor. Now, see, next slide is slightly a slide which is not that important. Shiv Narayan Agnihotri, his Dev Samaj. Now remember, Shiv Narayan Agnihotri was initially a member of Brahmo Samaj, was initially theistic, that is believed in God. But later, he formed his own Dev Samaj, which was atheistic. So 1887, he started his own body. Now, what is the main thing of Dev Samaj? They believe in eternity of the Guru. They believe in supremacy of the Guru. They believe good actions are needed. They believe that one should not accept bribes, not consume intoxicants. Now, please understand, eternity of the Guru, that is Guru, is eternal, will exist always. Eternity. Similarly, supremacy of the Guru, they believe that the Guru is supreme. They believe that one should do good actions. Now, all of you understand, good actions For example, you all will believe they say that one should not accept bribes. Absolutely, it is like a good action. Similarly, not consume intoxicants. That is also a good thing. One should not. They say don't consume non-veg food. Now, many of you who are non-vegetarian don't feel bad. Please understand. Non-veg food, in their opinion, one should not consume. So, Dev Samaj thinks one should not consume non-veg food. In their opinion, this is the good way. Of course, some of you may think, no, nothing wrong in consuming non-veg food. What's the problem in that? So, that is different. And all this is written in their book known as Dev Shastra. So, if you see here, initially member of Brahmo Samaj, later goes and forms his own Samaj in 1887. Now, initially a theistic body, later became atheistic. Atheistic means no belief in God. So they have become a theistic body. What do they deny? They deny that there is any God. They call for ethical conduct. That is good action. They call for good action. You can see they are saying eternity of the soul. Eternity means forever. That means soul, Atma, is Anishwar. It's not going to die. Similarly, they believe supremacy of the Guru. No, forever the soul will be there. Guru is the supreme. Now, it called for an ideal social behavior. For example, don't accept bribes. Don't consume intoxicants. Don't eat non-veg food. Don't go for non-violence. And of course, their book's name is Dev Shastra. See, I will tell you, till now, all of you, the chapter that we started, my personal opinion is this is the first not so important slide. Till now, yes, Guru here is teacher. Remember, till now, whatever we have done, were all the important people. This is one of the less important names in this chapter. Okay, moving ahead. See, the next one, Prarthana Samaj, as the name stands, prayer society. See, I cannot do anything. Please understand this chapter. You will have to. I cannot, do anything. You will have to, basically remember facts. There are facts, and you will have to remember. See, who started this Samaj? Where was it started? So, Bombay. There are people like Atmaram Pandurang and Daduba Takdar. They have started this. They are brothers. They have started this in Bombay state. Because in those days, Keshav Chandra Sen had come to visit them and they started this. So basically, this was parallel to Brahmo Samaj. Same teachings. So just like Brahmo Samaj, they also believe in what? Monotheism. They also believe in one God. They also don't regard Vedas as infallible. So how are they different? See, those who are from Maharashtra will understand. They worship Vitthal as the God. Vitthal as the God is worshipped by them. And the old Bhakti poets like Namdev, Tukaram, their poems are used by them. So if you see here, who started this? Dadoba Tarkdar and his brother Atmaram Pandurang this year at Bombay when Keshav Chandra Sen was visiting this. Great Pandharpur, Prithviraj is from Pandharpur, the place of Lord Vitthal. You can see, just like Brahmo Samaj, they believe in one God and worship of only one God. We have already studied Brahmo Samaj in the morning. You saw over there that even though they believe in God, they don't say Vedas are divine or infallible. They don't believe in that. Of course, they believe in monotheism, one God. But they are more concerned with social reform. So Vitthal. Now some people are asking, who are Vitthal? See, Vitthal's God. Please remember, Vitthal's, they are God, Lord Vishnu's avatar. So Vaishnava Bhakti devotional poets like Namdev, Tukaram, they have written their prayers. They take inspiration from them. Getting my point? So Vitthal's, Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. You can see your primary focus is social and cultural reform. Primary focus. Yes, see, Vitthal is one of the avatars, incarnations. See, I'll write this. See, incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Now, see, I don't have to teach this slide. All of you, please see. You all can see what they are standing for, what they are, claiming here. See here, they are talking about improvement of the position of women. They are talking about improvement of the end of the caste system. They are talking about abolition of child marriage. They are talking about abolition of child infanticide. They are talking about educational opportunities for men and the women and remarriage of the widows. All these points are common points which we have already seen. Getting my point? And remember, at this moment, this Samaj became more prominent after people like M.G. Ranade. I'll show you three names here. R.G. Bhandarkar, M.G. Ranade, and Narayan Chandavarkar, they all joined them. Remember, once Ranade joined, this organization became much more popular. Now for prelims, remember these two facts. In South India, Telugu reformer and writer K. V. Salingam made it very, very popular. Yes, he is a judge. M.G. Ranade is a judge. Anyone has any idea who is this man? D.K. Karve? Anyone can tell me who is Dhondo Keshav Karve? D.K. Karve. Yeah, he's from Maharashtra, Vaishnavi, but then D.K. Karve, reformer. Samir gives this. Please remember, he is a Bharat Ratna recipient. A great man. Those who are studying, I'll tell you, those who are studying sociology, paper 2, you will study a lady sociologist. Her name is Iravati Karve. She is, Dhondo Keshav Karve got Bharat Ratna. This great man was an educator, a poet, a reformer. In those days had started Widow remarriage movement. Maharishi, his name, he was given the title of Maharishi. Maharishi means a man who is a great man, Rishi, anthropologist also, yes, started, married a widow, was involved in the first women's university, SNDT college was started by him, graduation schools were started for women, there are lots of facts about this man, but for us, widows remarriage movement, this you have to remember. We are done with this chapter, this topic. Now, Iravati Karve is his daughter-in-law. See, 10 more minutes I will teach you, and then I will do the brainstorming of this entire chapter. So, 10 more minutes. Let me do 3 more small topics, one slide. And please, all of you focus on the brainstorming. I will, in one slide, write everything which is important. Everything important will be there in one slide for you people. So, the next is Indian Social Conference. Prelims question has already been asked on this. Remember, started by whom? M.G. Ranade and Raghunath Rao. When? 1887 till 1895. Why? Every year, wherever Congress sessions happen, same place, same venue, they would organize this. They would organize this Congress session. See, please understand, the problem is if I look at the camera, I will miss the comments of yours. Then I'll not be able to keep on looking that you people understand or not, whether you are able to give the correct comments or not. So the problem is if I look at the camera, I cannot look at the comments. By looking at the comments, I keep on trying to understand that whether you understood the thing or not. And that's why I repeat the things. Wherever small doubts are there, I solve it here itself. So see, I've got only 2 eyes. And unfortunately, it cannot be in 2 directions. So either I see, if I don't look at the chat, the problem is many people, their doubts will not end. So that is the reason I have to look here. Otherwise, see, I don't have a problem looking here. But then while writing, I'll have to look here. So in the Congress sessions from 1887 to 1895, same place, same venue, they did this. Now, why did they do it? Why was the social conference organized? Please understand. Initial day Congress did not want to talk about political reforms. That is why they were basically, for their social discussions, they met separately. So they would not be doing social discussions from the platform of Congress. That's why this is also known as Social Reform Cell of Congress. This is also known as that. Getting my point? And in those days had started a movement called Pledge Movement. So you can see here. Started by whom? From when to when? As a part of the Congress sessions. See, we have not studied Congress. You will see Congress was started in 1885. We will study it later. Same time, same venue as INC. That is why also known as Social Reform Cell of INC. Supports what? Intercaste marriage, opposes polygamy, launched Pledge Movement to inspire people against child marriage. The second last topic for the day is your Theosophical Society. 2 prelims questions have been asked on them in the earlier chapters. Those who did not understand, INC means Indian National Congress. Please understand, INC is Indian National Congress. Pledge means that you have taken a decision, you have pledged that you will not support child marriage. Getting my point? You are against this. Oath. Pledge is oath. You have taken an oath, you have sweared, you have swearing, you have sweared that thing. So that is the thing. Getting my point? Now see here. Sorry. Theosophical Society. Now question is, look, question. When? 1875. Where? Started in New York. Later shifted themselves to Adyar, old Madras, now Chennai. Who all are involved in this? Steele, Judge, Blavatsky. Later, Annie Besant will join it. Now, why? Ask yourself the question. Ask yourself these questions. Why is Theosophical Society started? Because for the revival and strengthening of ancient Indian religions. See, these are the names. Please understand, these are the names that we are, seeing here. So for that, it is started. You can see here. Who started these people? When? See, you can remember it. Same year, Arya Samaj had been started. And Henry Steele, Olcott, Blavatsky, and Judge, they have started it in New York. Later, they came to India, and their headquarters is in Adyar, modern-day Madras or Chennai. Now, see, don't go into that, but theosophical, this word comes from Theosophists. See, they are a type of ethical group or philosophical group who believe that there is a transmigration of soul. Their doctrine is, they study God. And just like others, they believe in universal brotherhood of religion. See, ancient religions, like Hinduism, Buddhism, these are the ancient religions. See, now Prakhar is asking what made foreign people to study about ancient religion. See, they were really, interested in knowing about the ancient religions and how to strengthen that. That's why they are doing. And transmigration of soul. See, what we say, Atma, soul does not die. It only moves from one body to the other. So that is called your transmigration of the soul. Remember, they are not that successful. Not very successful. They are not that successful in those days. Now, let me tell you one thing. Not only they have not been successful, but then there is one place where they contributed. See here, their impact, positive and negative. What is the positive impact of theirs? They gave us self-confidence. For example, Saguna, Vaishnavi, Anurag, these people, they were low on confidence. Why they were low on confidence? Because Britishers said, you Indians don't have any civilization of yours. But now, after the work of these theosophists who have basically glorified our religion, our philosophical traditions have been glorified by them. All these people like Saguna, Anurag, their confidence is now high. They are having self-confidence. No, my religion is not that bad as Britishers have claimed. This is the positive impact. But what is the negative impact? Negative impact is Anurag and all, sometimes they had a false pride. What is false pride? They started to think everything about their religion is great. Anything and everything about the religion, in their past greatness, they had a false pride. So this is the thing. Sometimes the feeling is positive, self-confidence is there. And of course, sometimes there is a false pride also. We have this pride. No, my religion is the greatest. No, my state is the greatest. No, I am the greatest. Now this when happens, what does this lead to? False pride. You get a false pride that no, everything about me is great. Remember, Theosophical Society is, or I would rather say Annie Besant was not a founding member of Theosophical Society. She joined it as a president much later for the revival of Hinduism. Later we will talk, she will find this college in Banaras which became BHU, and she was also involved in Home Rule League movement. Don't worry, this will come in the 13th module. We will study Home Rule League movement later. Don't worry about this. We will study this in education chapter, BHU. Of course, she joined it later. Remember, not a founding member. She is not a member who started this. She is not a, founding member at this point of time. Last topic for the day is Behramji Malabari, and with that, I'll wrap up the session for the day. Getting my point? Behramji Malabari, Parsi man, who is a poet, an editor, everything in that era. What is the main thing he's doing? Mainly working to end child marriage. Mainly working to end child marriage. And because of his efforts, Age of Consent Act 1891 was passed, which in those days increased the age of minimum age of marriage of girls, increased from 10 to 12. And this is there in a very famous case, Rakhma Bai case, which has already been asked in UPSC. It has been asked. Yes, Tilak had opposed this law. We will study why later. Tilak was opposed to this law. He also started a newspaper called Indian Spectator. So you can see here, Malabari is poet, publicist, author, reformer, mainly works to end child marriage, and he is the person who brings, or because of his effort, Age of Consent Act 1891, which increased the age of girls' marriage from 10 to 12. Of course, this newspaper was started by him, and later started Seva Sadan with Diwan Dayaram Gidumal for the women who were exploited and discarded by the society. Now, I will tell you, all of you, please be very clear why Tilak is opposing this. I will tell you. What is the reason Tilak opposed this? This we will see in the extremist chapter. Okay, so all of you remember, tomorrow we will start with the module 8. So now, sorry, this is not module 8. Yes, module 8. Tomorrow we will start from here. Okay, now, Malabari is a Parsi. So how many of you want brainstorming to be done today or tomorrow you want it? So you have time. Either I teach something or I do. I knew. One person says today, another person says tomorrow. Don't worry about that. Guys, I've got still 23 minutes. So either I will teach or I'll do brainstorming. Let's see, I'll tell you. Don't do a poll, it's my wish. I'm taking the lectures, have patience. See, prelims question tomorrow, I'll tell you, all of you listen to me. Tomorrow, the agenda is I will bring almost 30 plus prelims question and many mains question also. So tomorrow's class anyways, last almost 45 minutes are dedicated only to the questions. So I will start this module tomorrow. But everybody, today, you go and please study this chapter. And I will show you right now only. See, all of you, yesterday only I told you the chapter brainstorming, where do start doing this, where this chapter is. For you people, see here. See, in one slide, this is my promise. In one slide, I will bring everything for this chapter. How do I do this? See here. Like this. A lot of you are asking me about notes. Like this, you will make the notes. Socio-religious reform movement. See, I will use some very small, abbreviations. You can understand that. Now, in socio-religious reform movements, recall, we started today's lecture with Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Then we went to Virozio. Then we went to